Dak
injured
is
as well.
top 5, Amari is top 5, and the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let Me Finish. Today, we're talking about the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and more specifically, we're going to talk about, is Dak worth $40 million?
No.
So, Alex, what do you think of them franchising Dak?
I probably would have put the non-exclusive franchise tag to see if there was interest anywhere else, and then gotten the trade and the draft capital for him.
What's your stance on Dak?
What's my stance on Dak? He's a good, not great quarterback. And when you give good, not great quarterbacks and you pay them like they are great quarterbacks, it hurts your ability to build the roster around them, which you need to do because they're good, they're not great. I mean, ask the Rams. They just had to get rid of Gurley. They're shopping Brandon Cooks because they have no draft capital. Now, part of that's because they decided to go all in on getting people like Ramsey and trading up for other players. But they don't have any draft capital. They don't have any cap space because they paid a good, not great quarterback, and they paid a running back, which you should probably almost never do with running backs, really. But that's another issue in of itself. So they're going to pay Dak $30 million this year. That's his cap hit. And they've lost Byron Jones and they've lost Robert Quinn, and that's going to hurt them defensively. They're going to be an overall less talented team this year unless they just knock it out the park with the draft.
Okay. Well, here's my issue with the franchise tag on Dak. Jerry Jones, do you really think that you can compete with a championship with the team that you have? And I'm assuming that answer is yes. So why didn't you just pay the man and get him happy so that you can have your whole locker room, your whole team, especially with a new coach, happy and cohesive going into the season? Because when you franchise tag somebody, you never know how they're going to feel. Now, I like Dak. Alex is out on him already. I like him. I think he's ascending
Already,
as a
it's
player.
been 4 years.
I think he's ascending as a player. I think he showed improvement every single year that he's been in the league. Now,
Well, that's assuredly not true.
Last year, he had really great numbers against some bad teams, and he had some really bad numbers against some good teams. And I think
his whole career.
That part of that is because he was dealing with some offensive calling issues, and they had kind of an identity issue. But now, on top of those things, Dak feels like, hey, Jerry, you don't really care about me. So should I really try? I feel like Dak is, I mean, he's a strong-minded person, and he's got all the intangibles in the world. He doesn't have all the tangibles, and we don't know if he'll get them. But I think that he is ascending. And now you just kind of put your quarterback, who you said you believe in a precarious position. So that's my issue with the franchise tag. Now, the CBA just got signed in. Dak is next up to get his contract. Do I think he's worth $40 million? No, I don't think he's worth $40 million. I do like Dak. I just said I like Dak. But here's the issue with $40 million. You better be the best or top 3 best quarterbacks in the league if you're going to get paid $40 million. If you're next up and you're not the best, you still, I think as a player, should demand whatever is next up, because
top of the market.
you don't want the owners to drive down the market for quarterback pay, because if you get paid less, then whoever's next up after you, which Alex just said is Mahomes, is going to get slighted potentially. Now, Mahomes is that great that we don't think he will, but it does something to the market when you hand over the power to the owners like that.
I agree with you, kind of. If Mahomes takes less, it does something to the market, because then owners go to their quarterbacks and are like, well, Mahomes, kind of like this idea, like Brady taking less, but Manning never took less. Breeze really in his prime never took less. Like, the quarterback position is the position that has the leverage because of how important it is
Mm-hmm.
to the game of football. Dak's not that guy, so I think franchising him is good. I would be looking to trade Dak. If you don't have a top flight quarterback, you should be looking for the next top flight quarterback.
Okay, so that was enough on Dak. That was a little long-winded. So moving on to Dak's partner in crime, the only thing that keeps the little engine going, his caboose or his engine, Amari Cooper.
Dak's a caboose because he gets pulled. He doesn't pull things; he gets pulled.
I don't know. Dak pulls dudes into the end zone when he goes to scramble for it. That's what I know. Dak's got that toughness. What's up? Anyway, are they overpaying Amari Cooper at $100 million over 5 years or $20 million a year?
So, yeah, I mean, the answer is yes, but for what he did to Dallas's offense when he got there, turning it into a top 5 production offense, I mean, yeah, it's not a huge overpay. Is he actually the second best wide receiver in the league behind Julio? No. Like, he's not in the Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Julio kind of discussion. He's somewhere probably between like 8 and 12th best receiver in the league. So, yeah, you're overpaying him a little bit, but not, I mean, he would have gotten what? 18 million? If he had just left on, well, he might have gotten more than that. Reportedly, I think he turned down like 21 million a year. So they let him hit free agency. They pay 20 million. I don't think it's a horrible miscalculation or anything like that. I think that's just kind of the going rate, so to speak. And I'm okay paying my wide receiver the going rate and not my quarterback, because when I pay my quarterback the going rate, it's, you know, a time and a half what my receiver is at the going rate.
First off, I have a problem with what you said about Amari. He is a top 5 receiver in the league. And not only that, he is, to his team in value, one of the most valuable receivers to a team in the league. I think he's top 5. I think he is immensely important to his team. I don't think they overpaid for him. And here's the thing. Amari Cooper is worth the money. Simple as that. He was one of the most productive wide receivers last year until he got hurt, and I'm sticking by that. So, but anyway, last question.
So no, hold on. We gotta stay on this. He's a top 5 receiver.
Nah.
So
last question.
So hold on. You think he's in the class?
The Cowboys can win the division next year?
Can they? I mean, given.
Do you think they will win the division next year?
Oh, no, I don't think they will. I think the Eagles adding Slay is good for them. I'm kind of curious about letting Jenkins go, given how bad their coverage was, but he is getting older, and he probably seems like he wanted a bit of money, but I like the Slay pickup for the Eagles. I think they'll be healthier. I got to assume that they're going to go get a wide receiver in the draft, be it a Ruggs or a Lamb or a Jerry Jeudy if he falls to him. But no, and I think their quarterback is better.
Okay, so
no, I think the Eagles should be the favorite in that division.
I think the Cowboys are going to win the division next year, and here's why. What happened last year? Who won the division last year? The Eagles. Who won the division the year before that? The Cowboys. Who won the division the year before that? The Eagles. Okay.
They're just going to keep flip-flopping back and forth.
If we were going to keep that pattern, the Cowboys win the division next year. 1. 2. Last year, the entire league overestimated on the Cowboys. The entire media, except for a couple people here and there like Nick Wright and stuff like that, and Alex. And I think this year, everybody except Skip Bayless, right, is underestimating. Because obviously Skip is like, bro, they're going to make it.
Well, yeah, because Skip is Skip.
No, but they're being underestimated this year. So I don't think they're going to be this crazy dominating team this year, but I do think that they will win the division because they've kept their core 3 and they've got a new coach who is very offensively minded. So I think that they're going to do a lot better and be more consistent and actually follow through with their production on offense. And the defense is going to take a hit because they lost some people on defense, but I think that they're good enough to win games now.
Maybe they can be, but that defense is not going to be. They're going to be way more reliant on DeMarcus Lawrence, who is going to have a $21 million cap hit this year and certainly didn't play up to his contract last year. So we'll see.
All right. Well, that was everything we had on the Cowboys. Dak is top 5, Amari is top 5, and the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. If you enjoyed our show, Alex, let me finish. Go ahead and like the video. Comment if you want to have a conversation, and subscribe if you want to see more. All right, we're out.
Top 5